Hello everybody, this is Gabus Games, and welcome back to Crossout, and welcome to the Firestarters updates, guys. They're here, finally. And I got the patches ready, and we're gonna go right through all of them stuff, guys. So, of course, the entire new faction is added, and we will cover that in a second, but first off, we're gonna look at the new co-driver. So, new co-driver is Misty. Misty is unlocked by getting through the new faction. And Misty actually has quite a few nice bonuses. So the first level, melee weapons durability +1. Second weapon, junk bow damage +1. Shift steering and shift wheels durability +3%. The reload by skin is by 3% reduced, and Incinerator +2% on the fire puddle radius. Melee weapon durability, shotgun damage, finish reload rate, quite nice. Reputation gain as always. Fire damage on the flamethrower, more melee buff, more junk bow buff. Fortune extra ammo, not bad. This is actually a really nice buff. 25% more durability on the Werewolf cabin drone. And max speed of all movement parts +3%. That's not bad. I might actually just stick this in for my junk bows because I actually love the junk bows. +5% damage, nothing to sneeze at. But it's not bad. So that's the first thing. And next up are, I'm just going to cover the new items entirely. So, of course, this faction is unlocked by getting to the level 10 of Lunatics, right here. And Lunatics, of course, unlocked by getting level 10 in Engineers. So, here they are. Lunatics, Nomads, Scavengers. And by reaching at level 10, you'll be going right through the fire starters. And I'm pretty happy. I have to say, the layout here is kind of weird. Okay, start a faction, light base faction, medium base faction, heavy base faction, and then heavy advanced faction, medium advanced faction, and light advanced faction. It's kind of weird to have medium, light, medium, heavy, heavy, medium, light. Why not just light, medium, heavy, light, medium, heavy? Oh well. Rambling stuff that's not really that important. But we're going to cover all the stuff. And first off, we're going to start out with some of the faction vehicles. So the first one is Rakshasa. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's a bat cabin car with some light engine, some decor items, and some basic new armor parts of the faction. It has one spare, 2 shotguns, and it has the rocket launcher. So it has mainly lunatic parts other than that stuff. I think those wheels are actually though from the Nomads, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no. Are they actually lunatic wheels? I have to change that. There we go. Yeah, so lunatic wheels and items. Oop, going to the wrong faction. Next up is the Manticore. Manticore is actually having quite a lot of the new armor parts. Uses shift wheels. It still uses boosters. And has these lances that it of course uses. And junk bow shotguns. Pretty happy to have the junk bow shotguns. That's pretty fast. You gotta run away from the drone, of course. Although, these shotguns can easily deal with the drone. Next up is Basilisk. Basilisk? That gun on there up top is so huge. I'll probably like it better if it actually was shot off. But anyways, there's shotguns and there's a Phoenix bow. And I have to say, they're a bit of an odd weapon combination because you don't want to get close with the bow. And you're gonna be passing by and then doing something like that. The damage output of the bow is not bad, but Also, shotgun and both, but I'll cover that in a second. So this was the build I was loaded just a second ago. Chimera. I love the Chimera, and just the artillery. That thing died so quickly. This thing is actually really fast there. That's also the Oppressor engine in the back, as you guys can see. Pretty cool new engine. Yep. And yep. Oh, next up is Ishford. First one with the auger wheels. Well, the meat grinders. So here's the cabin. And it uses a Skinner up top. So of course you got like, well, this thing is not great at. This thing is definitely not great at actually pulling stuff over. But like you can keep things close. There's that. Again, these builds right here are really bad builds. So, these things do have a pretty good damage output, but those are of course 3 flamethrowers. And this one, the last one, use the fortune wheels and a flamethrower. They're pretty bouncy. Not extremely accurate. And this actually features some like of these pipes from the other like from the event. Oh, well. Covering that, we're gonna cover all the items in a little bit more in detail. So first off, we got the Bat Cabin, 750 power score. It's a medium cabin with 10 energy, 5,000 tonnage, 8.5 thousand mass limit. You guys already know it. Yeah, that's a high tonnage for what it is. So that's something like you have to point out. Junk Boy Shotgun, 182 points of durability, 4 energy drain, 189 kilo of mass. I do have to say, they actually buffed the Junk Bow's optimal damage range. So basically, if you were to say like how the damage would function, so I'll just kind of take 2 parts to actually like put it into a bit of a perspective. So if this part right here, the quarter wall, this part right here is where the gun barrel is. Basically, it will have a high damage up to a certain point, and then it will lower. So basically, this is how it used to be, and now they kind of changed it to having it like this, like that, and so. So you can deal a lot of damage. Like you have a better range chart overall. You can like deal more damage at a slightly longer distance, but it still does not have like that high max range, so that's something to like point out. And also his damage pattern like went to more horizontal spread than instead of like a circular spread, and it's been made slightly more accurate. So that means that as long as the guns are more or less horizontal level, which it's going to be most of the time, there will be like slightly elevated above each other to fire at each other, but there will not be in a tower, of course. So these guns will be even more efficient in degunning now. Shift wheels, you guys know it, they deal damage based on like how much speed there are, and they're kind of like melee weapons. But now we're gonna get in the actual exciting stuff here. First off, are the Bigfoot and Bigfoot steering wheels. We actually have 3 epic movement parts for this faction, which is actually pretty cool. So if you want to go in and get epic movement parts, this is really the place to go. So the Bigfoot wheels, 225 power score per wheel, 1250 tonnage, 445 points of durability, 280 kilograms of mass. I'll be going into the build mode right now, and I'll be comparing them to large wheels, because that's most probably like the competitor of it. So just make a really basic frame, put on a cabin, and we're gonna just see the size here. So if you have like a wheel like here and like there, so normally large wheels would be like this. They would fit like this. And compared to that, the Bigfoot wheels seem to be about as large. Yeah, they seem to be as large as that. And next try is gonna be how the elevation is. They are much wider, so they look more bigger than normal wheels. They are slightly higher even than the large wheels, so that's actually a really cool thing. So you can undercap a little bit more. And have a little bit of a better suspension. You basically notice if you're like accelerating, how it's a little bit higher. That's actually a really nice touch there. They have a really good grip, though. That's something pretty nice. But so comparing those two, um, The large steering wheel has 90 power score, so it has a much lower power score. And the tonnage of the Bigfoot is 1250, and the large steering wheel is 900. So it also has a higher tonnage. It has almost double the durability. Wow. And it actually has a lower mass. So these things are literally just a full-on upgrade to the large steering wheels. Or large wheels. Okay, they are twice as wide. So if you need to like squeeze things between each other. So like, let's say you would have a frame right here. You would be better off using a large steering wheel right there because a Bigfoot wheel would not fit in there. That's the only real exception. So why you would use a large steering wheel, I think. Or well, actually, I think we gotta squeeze it closer. No. Oh well, bummer. So as you guys see, like there is actually a pretty solid hitbox right there. I'll be taking some aphis slopes to like confirm. You can actually like you can slightly build around it. Still not. So it has a pretty high actual shape. You guys can see. And I'm not sure if these things can even support having a fender. That would be a bummer, but so let's see. Bummer. Okay, they can be added, but there will be one up. And one up as well. So yeah, you're gonna have like one up overall in height. Fenders and for large fenders. Kind of even worse. They're so high up. Like, look at that space in between there. Even though, like, oh wait, of course that doesn't work. Wait. There we go. Even though, like, suspension is here. Like, it doesn't go up enough, far enough to actually, like, fill it up. So that's a kind of bummer. So you cannot really build around these that properly, but they're still really good wheels. I also have this special perk which says distance covered by this wheel is counted with a 50% bonus for weapons and modules that count it. So basically, just gonna take 4 of these. If you take a weapon like the Thunderbolt, it says for every 40 meters the vehicle drives, weapon damage increases by 25%, stacks up to 4 times. And of course, that's for a single shot, but basically it says when this thing traverses 1 meter, it will count as 1.5 meter for the shotgun. So this will charge way faster. Look at that. Look how fast that charges. Look at that. Compared to just having large wheels here. So note it's a 1.5 multiplier, not a 2 times multiplier. So you can see like it's definitely slower. So yeah, you do notice that. And it will be affects stuff like the cheetah as well. And that's actually a pretty nice thing. So that's about it for the Bigfoots. Next up is the Tormentor. So the Tormentor is a weapon booster. It affects melee weapons. So passive melee weapons. Let's take actually active melee weapons. So for example, I guess I think to put this a little bit backwards, but let's take a harvester here. One of the beautiful customization kit. And grab that module. Where are you, Tormentor? There you are. So basically, if I attack something, that's for example this little bit of a prototype of a Leviathan. That thing is really. Okay, got a little bit of a message here, but survivors, you're gonna set a button for your carcass. Please unmount it to your storage and mount it again on your vehicle. After that, you'll be able to set the button for the weapon. We're planning to fix this bug in the nearest hotfix. That's okay. That's interesting. But anyways, back to the thing here. So, if this ramp, as you can see, like, actually let's go to the directly to the cabin to go for direct cabin damage. I need to follow. I needed to fall over. I think. Yeah. Wait. I know. Easier solution. There we go. I always look like a mustache or something. Gotta love them mustaches. So, as you can see, like, kind of damage hits. And I activate this. It jumps up to a way higher damage output, and it does it for 5 seconds. However, as you can see, the weapon light up, so it kind of has the same effect as Aurora, but on your own melee weapons. So you can do you do like what is it like from runner to 130, so like 20, it was around 25% more damage. But you will see if like actually damage increased by 40% for each second of contact. And oh, actually wait, that's the perk of that thing. Sorry. Um. This thing increases around 25%, but also increases damage taken by the melee weapon. So you can kill people quicker, but if they react to it fast enough, they can easily take out your melee stuff. Back to the faction. So we got the Phoenix crossbow. This direct competitor will be. There will be two competitors really. One of them going to be way more like rare to actually be there than the other one. But I'll be taking a generator here really quickly, and I'll be equipping them all three on a small frame of grills. The first one, of course, the Phoenix, and the most obvious competitor is going to be the Spike one. They're both crossbows. Of course, you gotta compare those two. And the second one would probably be the Executioner Cannon. So I'll be putting these on different buttons. Left, right, left. Let's put this on mouse 5. There we go. So I'll be firing like for a moment here at the guy. So I can take out the armor parts there first. So okay. First off is the Spike. 162 damage. Cannon. 144. And this thing, of course, has a timer before it actually explodes. And deals around 160, so 160. So it deals more damage. 162, 160. Actually, the Spike and the crossbow seem to be very similar in damage. So 162. And compare that to this thing. 160, yeah, like. Or 141, so. 162, and this should probably be a finisher. The cannon is definitely one most random one with like the explosive stuff, but it seems to be just like pretty much the same as the crossbow. However, the crossbow has like 4 energy points. One are like 80 or less durability, and but in return 200 kilograms less mass, so that's something I guess. Same amount of ammo, and the Phoenix like sticks to objects and explodes later. So you can also shoot it like at the objects around you. So let's say shoot at the wall and like you drive past it, but like the guy behind you just drives right here when it explodes. So that's an option what you can use for the crossbow. Also, let's compare the rotation speed here. Looks like the Executioner is like the most, of course, like standard option. But look at the rotation. So I'm gonna do it forward, gonna lock it, and I gotta put them backwards. Crossbow is quite a bit faster than the Phoenix. So it looks like the Spike one is still like better than the Phoenix, but the Phoenix has a bit more application. So that's like something really nice with the explosive bolt. But in return, the Spike of course has that awesome big recoil. And comparing like the crossbow to the cannon, like the crossbow does do slightly more damage than the Executioner. It has 10 more rounds of ammo, 100 less durability, and 200 kilograms more mass. And of course, the Execution has slightly armor penetrating values and stuff like that. But the Phoenix, basically, if you have the Phoenix, let's say I'm just gonna like mount 3 of them here. If I can at least fit 3. There we go. So let's turn on the AIs for a second. And wait for it to get a little bit closer. And that was like a miss shot. But he's stopping actually. Ah! Awesome. So that works. But yeah, you can like shoot and take cover. And the damage will resolve like at a later moment. But you gotta like do that and just run away. Actually, what the hell? What the hell happened with that one? You do like that, then you can run away. If you got a build that's fast enough, you can probably just really do hit and run tech. Like you just like boop, and you're gone before they can even reply, and they are just gonna die. They did say you could shoot these things, so I'm gonna take a spark. Say, like first check out if it's a something you can actually damage yourself. Because a spark will damage anything in its radius, including drones, mines, missiles, or whatever. So it doesn't matter like what kind of entity it is, just as long as you can damage it, you'll be able to just destroy it. Doesn't look like you can destroy it, but let's try something else here. Take that, and actually I'm just gonna grab a spike to test this. Spike, second mouse button. So if I launch these bolts on a plate of armor, wait, do I instantly kill one of these plates of armor? Yes, I do. So if I do this, okay, they instantly explode. So you can combine. Okay, that doesn't work, but you actually have to like put it in armor, I guess. That works. It actually deals some serious damage. But I have to say, like the crossbow actually has a higher DPS, even though it has less energy. But the crossbows have some interesting synergy stuff going on, so I will definitely be experimenting with these, but I fear that they're still going to be inferior to the crossbow. So, on to the next thing, which is the Oppressor engine. The Oppressor engine is basically a replacement for the Cheetah for weapons at high-speed vehicles. Because the Cheetah has been changed to only affect modules. So actually, like to verify, I'm gonna put a Cheetah. I'm gonna put on a let's say drone here. Put a Falcon on the one side, and put a slow firing gun on the other side here. So I'm gonna just wait a second and just activate the drone and just drive just a little bit slower. Gotta brake around here. There we go. Just get a little bit closer to that. There we go. Drones now also last quite a bit longer, as you guys can see. So waiting a moment. There we go. So fire and trigger. As you guys can see, only the module reload was affected. However, the new Oppressor engine does affect the actual effects. So I'm gonna just compare the two of them. So I actually have to go into storage here. So I'm gonna compare the Cheetah with the Oppressor. So the Oppressor is 310 power score, 310 power score. I think they're all 310. Actually, 235, 230, 310. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So they do have slightly different stuff. So 310, 310. Both have 3000 extra tonnage, 1000 extra mass limit. The max speed on Oppressor is 17. Cheetah is 20. I think it was the highest, right? Yeah, that was the highest. Okay, so slightly lower, 3%. However, it does 30% power instead of 25, so it has 5% extra power for 3% less max speed. 210 durability, 400 durability. That's actually impressive. 360, 400, 145. So it's only like the only one that's tough is the Oppressor, is the Golden Eagle. And 1 energy point drain, just like normal. 150 mass towards 500 kilograms of mass. Okay, it's just half as a Golden Eagle. Basically, I think these things are like, wait, the Golden Eagle is, let's say, it looks like it actually is the same size. Depends on if I can actually mount something on top of the Oppressor right here. Doesn't look like I can. Only here. That's it, like, 2 little connection points. That's it. So, it's just basically a remodeled Golden Eagle with a speed effect reload, so just a static reload. Just like the Cheetah, it relies on staying on the move. Because its ability is guard speed, increased weapon missile reload speed. Maximum effect 30% at 80 kilometers an hour. Right? kph? Yeah, kilometers an hour. mph is miles. So, so you can also like pick the Colossus, just says 20% reload speed. Or you can take the Oppressor. Oppressor goes from 0 at 0 kilometers an hour to 30 at 80 kilometers an hour. So if you're going past, like 2/3 of that 80 kilometer speed, you're gonna be better off using an Oppressor than using a Colossus. So that's like a little bit of a choice right there. I do really love the Oppressor, like the looks of it. It's just a huge freaking engine. It's actually just like 2 engines stacked together, if you look at it, and it just has such a nice radiator in front. I'm gonna use this to rebuild the old Mad Max Raw rig. That's something I'm gonna do definitely. So that's a pretty cool engine. And then we of course got the meat grinders. You guys already know the stuff. Already covered that one. So just to keep the things a little bit shorter, I'm gonna go right over to the Werewolf. So the Werewolf is something you're gonna compare towards just to go into inventory. Compare either the Cerberus or the Quantum. So I'm gonna filter out epics. So the Werewolf comes at 1800 power score compared to the 1800 here. Actually, wow, 1500 to all other ones. But Cerberus and Werewolf both have 1800 power score. So mainly because they're building weapons. So they have higher power score than normal vehicles. Quantum so Quantum has a 300 advantage of power score. Max speed is higher than the Quantum, and probably around the same as the Cerberus. And I was like looking at such a low speed, but that was actually the damage hitter right there. So for just over 4 bars, 4 bars. So this and this one is 5. So of course, the Quantum has like less speed, more power, than the Werewolf and Cerberus. Cerberus actually has like 500 kilograms extra mass limit compared to the Werewolf. Both have the same energy output as the Quantum and Step Spider. So the Step Spider is of course an option, but that one is for way heavier builds. The Werewolf, 250 durability, 260 right here, 285 in the Cerberus. So the Cerberus is the toughest of the three. And of course, the Quantum has like 2,000 more mass, 1,000 more tonnage. So, well, I still see people gonna use the Werewolf, but I would like it will be just like what you need. If you really want that suicide drone, you would be using the Werewolf, but otherwise you would just be using the good old Quantum because of the lower power score and the higher mass limit. 600 kilograms mass, 600 kilograms of mass, just same. Of course, the ability is when it dies, you get a drone. So let's just grab that thing here. So it's pretty fast, Kevin. That's a horn. Pretty cool horn. And also, guys, this is like a little bit of like a BMW EZ I heard about. That's basically what it's based off looks-wise. But if you just like suicide on something, actually, I got like a little bit of time to still drive around. And this drone is actually very fast, and I think it's actually destroys automatically. Wait, actually let's just test it out. So, turn on drones AI. And I don't think I'll be surviving these 10 seconds. Yeah. Let's say, if I just die right here, do I still do damage? Does look like I do a little bit of damage. But, I think there will be, it's meant to actually detonate yourself. More or less. Actually, it's a little bit of delay there. So basically, I will die and it will instantly press the trigger. So you can see like the actual delay. So there's a little bit of delay here. Let's just try it like one more time. Like the glow while it's done. So 3, 2, 1, click. You guys saw the little thing up here. So that's pretty. Like a little bit of delay, so you do have to watch out for that. But I mean, just what you really want. Quantum or Werewolf, so that's a little balanced. Skitter you guys already know, so I'll just skip over it. But here's the Incinerator. Also guys, actually, I'll be just going over the crossing recipes. Of course, the standard requirement for all epics. Bigfoot requires shift wheels, bat, and large wheels, and non-steering on both. Steering wheels, these require steering on both, and still use the bat. Tormentor, still use the bat. Junk bows, and Chameleon. Module, Phoenix, junk bows as well, shift wheels, and explosive spears. That's actually these actually like kind of make sense now. Bat, shift wheels, and hardcore. Meat grinders use shift steering, and buzzsaw. That's a kind of weird recipe. Werewolf use of course use bat, shift steering, hazardous generator. These use AT wasp, junk bows, and shift wheels, and these use junk bows, shifts, and sledgehammers. So, on to the Incinerator, here we go. Go to weapons, Incinerator. You can set mount these, that's nice. That makes my life a little bit easier, not having to put a gun mount in here. But, these are just catapults, really. So yeah, those says catapult as weapon type. It has a 6 energy, so 6 energy worth of power score, weapon. 10 max ammo, 423 durability, 540 mass. And this is just like my miniature version of the Mandrake. These puddles that deal damage after hitting. And I'll show you guys right here. If you throw these things, you can see how the wolf thing heats up. So like you see the damage numbers also go up, right? So you can actually like get a you can just like these are like target markers, kind of. What I want to actually just, what I'm gonna try actually here right now. Oh, actually these are 3 wide. Oh wow, that's kind of annoying. That kind of tickles me. That doesn't mean I can just use one. But using those and putting on the porcupines, does it trigger on the flames? Okay, wait, I'll have to put the porcupine in group 2. Test drive. So let's see if the porcupine still triggers, but if it doesn't, that's going to be amazing. Okay, they still trigger on their own fire, but the porcupine does not trigger off the fire of this thing. So damage increase and just boom. Oh my god. Catapult plus porcupine. I think we actually found a way to make the porcupine viable. That's awesome. So yeah, the porcupine, this thing doesn't really do that much damage, but it does come like with that added bonus of like target marking. So what you're probably gonna do with these is just like have 2, and what's this left is want to be right. So kind of what you want to be doing is just start. You can just always load them, of course, yourself, but just like target marking people. So like, hey, fire at these guys. You will take increased. They will take increased damage, and you will be able to kill them easily. Also, just test how fast can you fire these instantly. That's kind of awkward, gonna be. So you can snap fire these. That's not bad. And they also seem to be a little bit easier to aim than the mini rakes, so that's also really cool. Ah, that was over. Although this, of course, will have a minimum range, so uh, minimum range is gonna be affected by like how you angle. So if you like go like this, they will be able to like fire shorter. And let's see, how far is their maximum range? That's actually not bad. Whee! That's definitely not bad. Yeah, they're kind of mini mandrakes. Of course, they do have the limited firing angle in return and less range, but that extra damage bonus is also nice. And of course, like the Mandrake shoots 5 projectiles, this thing only 1, so that's also kind of a difference. Bow. Now on to the legendaries. Of course, you just have the Blueprint Source expansions, but we got the Draco Flamethrower and the Fortune Mind Layer. And the Fortune Mind Layer kind of feels like a legendary variant of the Cricket's weapons style, and Draco, of course, is a non-relic version for the Flamethrower. So we're gonna pick those weapons. We're gonna start with a Firebug and a Draco. And put the Draco on right mouse. The Draco comes with a limited firing angle, of course, compared to the Firebug's full firing angle. And actually, I'll be placing 2 more things on here. Modules, get rid of those. Putting on some ammo, so I can properly test this stuff. And some radiator, so I could be able to fire away in peace. Okay, Firebug has more ammo than the Draco. And let's see, look at the ammo retention rate. It looks like the ammo of the Draco goes down lower than the Firebug. So onto the damage testing. This does have to heat up people, weapons. So this looks around 74, 76, 80, 83, 85. It goes up to around 90, but you'll be firing for a long time. And I'm just gonna try the Firebug now. Now that's much higher damage. That one just comes at 90 without doing anything. 100 even. 115. Now, oh my god, they actually... Wow. They changed the Firebug to also overheat people. That's awesome. Look at that, guys. Like, look at that fire. That's awesome. Now I have to try one more thing, of course. Which is gonna be the Mandrake. Does it overheat people too? That's gonna be a pretty interesting change. That should be a hit. Yep, it does. That's great. So other weapons now with fire actually overheat, like heat up people. That's cool. And yeah, the Draco is basically a non-turret version of the. But let's go back to this stuff. So Firebug versus Draco. Draco 4 points of energy. Firebug 4 points of energy. Draco 283 points of structure. Firebug 392. Draco comes with 120 ammo, Firebug 150 ammo, and the Firebug also uses the ammo slower, 315 to 270, so the Draco is lighter. And this one he just heats up damage to hit. This one does the same. Note that the Firebug, if it's destroyed, it actually like deals damage to your craft. So I'm gonna try to show that to you guys. Actually, I'm gonna use an easier way by just grabbing myself Let's take an equal. Spectre. So, Spectre. Same button. Duh. Do. So, I'm just gonna poke this gun till it falls off. Wait, they changed that? Oh wow, that's actually a sneaky, freaky thing there. They do not longer explode. Firebugs just became a whole lot cooler, guys. And firebugs, especially in combination with Dragos, definitely sounds like a plan. So, like, there's Dragos like going cheeky breaky, and so let's say these things are actually tiny weapons. Wow. So like something like that. Uh, Apollo goes up there, and then having like a firebug to actually like combine the weapon output. I mean, those things are tiny. They're pretty compact, so you're probably gonna combine these two to not so you can actually have the extra damage output on a tiny weapon frame, and that damage output goes nuts. So that's one. And next up is the Fortune. Fortune 5 energy together with the Cricket. Let's grab that one. Fortune is a bit higher. Our power score as well. Cricket comes with 164 points of durability. Fortune 288. Both same energy drain. 288 on mass, 360 on mass. 10 to 12 volleys. So this goes left, this goes right. So of course the Fortune it shoots tires. And those tires can actually like bounce on the ground. So if you guys see, they keep on rolling. They're just going happily. And they'll explode at some point. Basically, they act as porcupines. But then, like, it's a little bit different to a porcupine, but it kind of functions similar. And of course, you've got the range damage increase on crickets, so that Fortune does not have that. We're gonna try out damage outputs a little bit here. Do like that horn. Do note that the mine layer actually has like the Fortune actually has a way bigger turning radius than the cricket has. But uh, let's drive a little bit closer. So let's say that's around 300 damage, and that comes around 300 damage as well. So that's something. But I think these weapons are going to be mostly efficiently in going to be in hitting incinerators on the cap stuff. So I'm going to just use it like this. And I'm going to shoot a Fortune underneath this rod and see what happens. Oh, I actually just killed it. Oh well. They do seem to bounce a little bit too much, so that's why for a little bit more distance. Hopefully, I have them less bouncy. Didn't even reach it, dang it. Try again. The one guy is a winner. No, they actually trigger. They trigger around this little piece of frame. So it looks like they have a big enough clearance to actually like hit cabins like that, like hit stuff like that. Let's try out a meat grinder here. Doubt we'll be able to go under here, but actually, I'll be having kind of need to widen this stuff up. There we go. I think that should fit. Bup, bup, bup. I do like the sound it makes. Damn. I do like these, and they do seem to be able to get some pretty high damage output here. So let's otherwise do a side mount. Yeah, boy, the side mount. Yes. Can make my life so much easier. Weapon side mounting is such a nice thing. They just slam some random wheels on there. Awkward wheelbase, who cares? So you're gonna be launching boop boop boop. I'm just gonna be launching a wall of wheels going towards an enemy. That's actually some terrifying damage output. Oh. I like them. Of course, guys, I'll be tuning all this stuff later. And more closed stuff. And like more closed environment, I'll be testing everything. But let's say, like, of course, after the normal stuff, this one requires 2 werewolves, 2 thunderbolts, and 1 charged radiator. Fortune use 2 incinerators, 2 crickets, and 1 expanded ammo pack. And I just for like random sakes, does this thing have changed anything? No, it's not changed. So that looks okay. And of course, then used to though I don't have anything to create. Like you guys probably say, like, wait, he doesn't have like the uh hurricanes. Well, they're kind of in use, really. Oh well. So we're gonna now go on to the armor parts. So I'll be actually this thing is actually 10 long. That's actually a really long cabin. Wow. Let's take some Bigfoot steering wheels here. So onto armor. Put up the rarity filters. So we got these armor parts right here, and we're just gonna cover how the armor is gonna be obtained here. So we're starting out with the level 1. You get the Code River Misty. You got 2 Flaming Rakes and 2 Cover Your Left and Rights. At level 2, you got the new Portrait, 2 Scorched, 1 Nibbler, 2 Downstreams. Level 3, you got 3 Peaky Blinders, 1 Devilry. What the hell is that for name? Okay, 2 Scorched, 2 Downstreams, and 2 Rollovers for level 4. Level 5 gets 1 Boar and Cover Your Left and Right again. Flaming Rakes, Rollover, and Devilry on level 6. Level 7 comes with the second Portrait, another Scorched, and Right Horn, Left Horn. Fight comes more Flaming Rakes, Downstream, Boar, Devilry, the Stranglehorn. That's a kind of... Stranglehold is a really weird thing. Clicky Binder, and like some... Just like your armor parts, you can just like look over them right here. What you'll actually get. These ones are right horn, left horn. And these are cover your left and right. And let's see, right horn, left horn. Okay. So first off, we're gonna look at the bigger armor parts, the Boar and the Devilry. So Devilry looks like a 2 by 3 by 4 parts. So similar to the heart module. So those basically are the same thing. They don't have frontal connections. They have 3 side connections. And quite a good connection like in the back. Top 2 and 6 rear. That's decent. I'm getting spammed the hell out of here. Oh my god. And, oh well, onto the Boar. The Boar's a little bit bigger. 1 bit higher. That has the same kind of connection point style. 2 up top. That's a full bottom though, so that's something. Just a little bit higher variant of the Devilry. Yeah, Devilry, yeah, okay. Downstream already covered that one. Flaming Rakes as well. Scorched 2. We're over 2. They're now to the Torns, wow, those are huge. And they actually fit. Oh my gosh, yes. Alright. So, silence for a moment. But the thorns are just like fenders. So that's the right horn, and this is gonna be the left horn. They're like symmetrical, so they're actually pretty big. I like those twos. And then we got the Peaky Blinder. That one is symmetrical, and it's just overall another really big fender kind of style thing. And these things are actually things like you can cover up your entire Bigfoot things with. And they do not seem to have that great of connection points. As you guys can see, these have do some. And thorns. Let's see. Those are a little bit better connection point wise. Nothing else. Could cover your left and right. Another pretty nice piece of fender. So this faction mainly comes with defenders and some basic armor parts. Like nothing too fancy. Nothing like you get a shit ton of armor on the Stab of Wolves, but this is more basic stuff. The Scorch is definitely like a really nice part. So you can cover up such use pages by just having two of these Scorch on there. Right, like look at that. Probably have to rotate it this way to have a little bit better effect. Look at that armor. It's pretty good. It actually has pretty good armor overall as well. So, coming at that, let's just take a look at the patch notes. So yeah, first off, the new faction guys. We got the this guy Senge. We got the Etna and Vesuvius for the ice level, and of course Red Hot for the pack variants. And we also got some new patches. Or is it? We got the where are you guys? We got Pyromancer, and we got out of the frying pan into the fire. It says. So let's see, you guys. So anyway, Pyromancer says where's the first, fifth, and 15 repetition levels with fire section. Oh, that's actually probably because I already achieved that one apparently. So that's probably why I couldn't find it so quickly. And for the out of the frying pan into the fire, reach first 10th, 15th, and 100th perceived level fire factions. Those are just nuts. Just no. 100 prestige level. No. Please. God, that's too much. So yeah. Armor has changed quite a lot. Okay. I'm gonna just note out everything. Okay, we're gonna start out with like some general parts. For example, grills. Uh, so these things, small buggy floor. Those little parts here are reduced by 25% health. That's quite a bit of reduction. Lunatics have a 15% reduction, and all their actually like stuff here has been renamed. So buggy rear, buggy step plate, comp, tipper, dryer, fryer, creator, brassiere, left and right crutch, and wheelback. I like those like name changes. It's finally some good stuff going on there. So those have been reduced by 15% in toughness. Engineer parts have been reduced by 14% in toughness. Nomads 8%, and Dalton children armor by 2%. So like, some actually have like 1 point of extra structure. That's really like they're gonna have like 1 or 2 points of structure. It's not much. So we're just like the buggy floors are really gonna be noticeable, and the like 10% reduction in stuff like the buggy rear. So that was used to be over like 52, so that went down to 44. So that kind of hurts. Oh well. So Steppenwolves and Scavengers, those have been changed quite a bit. So stuff like Trickler, durability increased by 2%, but mass decreased by 25%. So these things are 25% lighter than they used to be. They have pretty much the same toughness, but that is quite a lot of change. Now, ABC parts have been in durability by 20%. Whole what? ABC? Wow. Okay. 323, 359. So okay, ABC parts are now even heavier than the scavenger parts, because of course scavenger parts have 25% less mass now, and Steppenwolves only have 5% less mass. But Steppenwolves have 20% increased durability. That's nuts. So yeah, again, like armor, some decent changes really. So I'm gonna compare some of the parts in a second, but actually I forgot two little armor parts. First of all, this Stranglehold, which looks to be a 4x2 armor plate. Top actually like take something smaller here. If top like it can mount up top, and actually it looks like 6 wide. Or is it? Yeah, it's actually 6 wide. 6 wide. And it's kind of weird to have like metal gloves holding a bar, and that's a melee weapon. That's kind of odd, but at least you can like stack them on top of each other, and you get okay. You only got 2 of them, but like you can do it like this, or it just can be like one punch. Gonna be One Punch Man, guys. So yeah, Nibbler already covered that one. You guys know it. Already talked a little bit about it. And Blade Wings are re-rotated like in the actual like inventory, so they're still the same parts by the looks of it, but they just like change rotation. That's nothing special. But let's compare some of the armor parts a little bit more. So 30 to 63, 45 to 95. That's probably just like the best ratio to have. So it is basically 45 equals 9 parts, and so 9 to that would be 19. 9 to 19 ratio. So let's take a look at this. 9 to 19, 8 to 14. So this has slightly less durability, but still less mass. 6 to 12. So these are like really like half. 6 to 12, yeah. 25 to 56. Slightly less efficient, but taking just a small parts in consideration here. 8 to 19. So 9 to 19. So it's pretty much, they're pretty much gonna be nomad parts. There's like these armor parts are just like equal to the nomads parts and like toughness and whatever. And like having like hot rods compared to like plain parts, that's probably true. That's probably right. So that's a rather balanced sit compared to let's say here 4 to 8. So that those are the more like those are slightly less efficient, 19 to 48. I guess that works. Those are similar to the engineer's parts, so that's okay. And now, of course, the APC are the heaviest but toughest parts. So they're like 1 to 3. And these are also like towards 1 to 3. But they're just really high health in a single part. So they're really part efficient. But being part efficient, like comparing that to just like weight efficient. So that's like something that you have to pick at. So that's really like the main difference there in the armor. And on to the next topic. So there's a change in the experience earning way in combat. So now, like before, you would get only points for destruction of cabins, guns, hardware, or movement parts. So cabins, guns, modules, and movement. But you would not get experience for destroying actual armor. So now you actually get XP like on getting these stuff, the decor stuff, and as well as frames. Those are the parts that I actually now also get actual experience for. So that's pretty good. And there's also been a change made to the repair kit production. So now there are only 30 to 300. So like I was like there were like 50 to 4, like they would be before they were like 450 for 50 and 50 for 10. So 450 50, and now they're 30 300, but they do not require you to actually rent a. They do not take up this space, so they're slightly less efficient now. So they're like 45 and 5 to 30 and 3. So 2 and from 10 to 5. So slightly less efficient for crafting, but for in terms of resources, but you at least do not have to pay for the actual rent of the branch. So that's decent. We'll see more people using those for power kits, hopefully. And now we're gonna get something very excited, guys. So I'm gonna just take this away as well. Here we go. Vehicle item assembly with parts from storage. Yes. So this basically says I'm gonna assemble a random vehicle with stuff in your inventory. So this thing comes with two turrets at different mount settings already, and a machine gun. So know that these vehicles are all from the faction Crossout patch, like the event right there. These are all vehicles from that event, and they all feature like, well, these are actually have all the same buttons. Oh my god, why is this? Why would you use a shotgun, autocannon, minigun, and machine gun all at the same button? Wow. So yeah, basically this thing assembles vehicles based on parts of your storage. So take into consideration that I have pretty much everything, of course. I can assemble pretty much any random build from near. And this one looks pretty cool. That thing's huge. As a crossbow, that's nice. So yeah, you will only be able to fabricate what you actually have. So let's say you have an inventory and you only have this. Like, this stuff. This is even like quite a bit of value. But like only have comments, like only have rares and comments. So this will not be able to do because it uses epics. This one uses epic weaponry, so you will not be able to epic. So you're gonna be limited quite often. Legendary, wow, still pretty cool. So yeah, like you'll be limited with what you can actually create, but you can recreate a random build and just try random stuff out. And these builds are actually most of the time pretty decent, or they're art builds. Okay, this is an art build. This is not great. Just when I say this, like, okay, that's not great. This thing is pretty cool, though. So that's a pretty cool villager. And it cannot be used to assemble Leviathans, only normal vehicles. And take consideration that it takes over this space, so if you already have a build, please just save it, guys. Like, please just put it in your save files, because otherwise you're gonna regret it not having saved it. So, okay, for AI battles. Now, for AI battles, they added new bosses for the faction lunatics known as scavengers. So we're just going through an AI raid. So let's say defense. We have now different bosses for that. So that's really handy. And that's just also like we're so much better. Like they weren't that great. So I'm happy they did that. And I guess we'll be seeing which one of them are like what are the changes pretty soon. And for seasons, be checking if it's actually like shown anywhere here. Turrets, no. Plasma guns, no. Oh, here we go. So melee weapons are already rare or higher. This now also allows the use of spears. So you can now use the let's get rid of that. So you now can also use lancelots and explosive spears other than just these melee weapons. And I'm really happy they did that because just being able to use actual spears instead of melee, because the melee is kind of in a bad state, kind of early in the game, is a really good thing. Next up change, clans. Clans now require you to have a car with at least 6,000 power scores. And when a player leaves a clan, the tournament that is ongoing at the moment will be unavailable to him instead of the normal like clan rejoin penalty. So the limit is just like not being able to do participate in the current tournament. And other things that are being changed are okay. Let's go back here. World map. With the like brawls for the Big Axe Scorpion, we got now the map Fortress to the rotation. So the good old battle map and stuff like that just added to rotation, so that's nice. And for normal missions, we got the Get Through Wires has been increased the minimum power score to 4,000 instead of 3,000. That's kind of a bummer. I wish they left that one of the change which they made to 4,000. I mean 3,000. I wish I left that one to 3,000. And the next one as well, for Rage, minimum power score for medium range is also now 4,000. I also wish they left that at 3,000 because they're easily doable with 3,000. For hard range, they upgraded to 5,000, which I'm very good fan of. For evasion, they upgraded to 4,000. I still think this one should also be 5,000. That's also better. Now, enemy difficulty in all raids is further just depending on the total power score of your group. So just like how the matchmaking of Leviathans works in Evasion, now kind of works with raids. So if you have like 4 guys at 5,000 in a cargo race at this one, the guys will get some buffs or debuffs, while if you'll be having a team of 10,000, it will be slightly harder. Now on the Assault game mode, you have a little bit of an advantage because you get the all difficulties. The time allowed for destroying the first tower is increased by 5 seconds. So you have 5 more seconds to destroy that first tower on the assault mode. And the cargo race, for all difficulties, for the first pickup, you get 10 additional seconds. So hopefully now the issue where you actually get like the first crate on the other side of the map is now fixed. Hopefully. That's pretty much like all there is to it. And Invasion, the amount of copper earned in an invasion is increased by 20%. So now for that 40 fuel, you can get up to 50 copper. I think that's even more efficient now than the actual like hard copper missions. So that's actually really, really cool. Now there have also been some really big changes, some other stuff. So the first off thing is I'm gonna grab another frame here. And let's just grab another cabin. Wheels. I know I'm just gonna use a lot of these Bigfoot wheels as example for wheels. So the first weapon that has been changed is the Caucasus. Caucasus now has a manual aiming. So as you guys can see, it still turns actually like within like what I can actually do. And actually there's like a radar here that makes it a little bit easier. So of course if you spotted a guy, of course this thing has so far range, you have this. And you have to lock on, and then only then it starts firing. And it's a pretty fast lock on, so that's pretty cool. And it goes until you get out of range, and then it like disappears after 2 seconds after you go out of range. And I think you can actually like lock onto. Yeah, you can just change the targets. Like just change targets automatically. You can now control the damage output. I'm really, really excited in that one. It still auto aims for you, but like you can actually target what you do. You can actually control the gun. So that's a really good thing. So next up again the shotgun changes. So junk bow now has a bit of a better range. So of course like this is way out of range. Still out of range. Like I'm just going to roll forward really closely. So 44 damage. Alright, got 61. 107. And here's also like 125, and like it really doesn't get better than that, guys. Also, if you look at the damage spread, it does a little bit more horizontal than normally. Like let's go right there. Oh, wait, that already falls off. So the damage spread again is like a little bit more horizontal. Probably don't show. I can probably show it if it's just firing in the air. Like you guys can see, it's a little bit more wide. So that's a really cool change. Now Tackler. Tackler, where are you? There we go. There we go. Tacklers, damage reduced by 15%, and the impulse is being reduced by 40%. So basically, the knockback when hitting enemies has been reduced by 14%. So that balanced this thing out a little bit. They really were like too powerful. For real. They really were too powerful. So another balance change, this one is definitely needed with the addition of the Phoenix, is the Spike. The Spike has a increased reload time by 25%. So this thing has a okay, compared to like before, it has 5 out of 4. So it has a 20% lower fire rate than it used to have. So that it decreases the DPS by 20% effectively. But it's still a burst weapon. And like the Phoenix now can, I guess, compete a little bit better. But I think the Spike is still a little bit too good for its 4 energy. I think they should like make it to 5 and increase the impulse by a lot, like a lot. So like it, or like decrease the damage and increase the impulse in return to make it more of an impulse weapon. And together with like the drone changes with the Falcon, sorry, the Cobra before, they now change the Falcon a little bit by increasing the active drone time by 50%, damage reduced by 30%, and the durability reduced by 50%. So they can be destroyed pretty easy now, but they last longer in return of like less damage. So the total damage is increased, but it's easier to counter them. And they deal less damage in one go, so you can actually have more time to actually counter them before they get killed. Before you get killed. So now with the Anaconda and Anaconda got active time by 50%, increased rate of fire by 25%, damage reduced by 53%. It's actually been a really long time before I use these things, so I guess I'll be slamming one on here. That actually flies pretty fast, so that's pretty nice. There's still like a little bit in that card as you guys can see. But they, again, like 53% less damage, 63% less durability, but now it has homing missiles. Owl similarly has a active time increased by 20%, damage reduced by 25%, durability of the drone has been increased by 50%, so these ones are a lot more tougher. Like, they're way more tough than the other one, like the normal drones. And they also have homing missiles now. And now the Barrier 9 has a reloading time reduced by 60%. So as you guys can see, it takes a little bit of a while to activate. But the reload time reduced by 60% and shield durability reduced by 60%. So it reloads way faster now, but it also has a lower durability. So yeah, the firebug change actually is noted in the patch. And also like the firebug, porcupine, mandrake, and mines in raid mode. So actually, like in raids, the mines, if those explode and have the fire or like the fire variants, actually deal damage like heating up stuff. And also meat grinders. They have been a little bit changed, small patch thing. It says now augers are equally accelerated along a straight and diagonal trajectory. So instead, like before they add, I think they had a initial slow acceleration, then it became better. So now it's more linearly. So that's okay. And now the humpback has a new perk. That's really cool. So receiving damage temporarily increases their damage you deal. Max event 25% at 1000 damage. So if you take a lot of damage, you're gonna increase damage. So that's pretty cool. And it also has like they also have new in like welding points. It says. So I'm gonna just take a look here. Where would it have new connection points? Let's take something really small. What do you have underneath here? Let's see. No connection points here. Rear is just like filled up. That's okay. Side, not entirely. Front, it doesn't really feel like there's much change here, but like it has some new welding points. And now this thing can be a tank and like take damage and pull and return that punishment. So that's really cool. So next up is the Aegis Prime. Guys, Aegis Prime has been changed so much. So first off, reloading time is reduced by 44%. You guys will yell at that, but active time is reduced by 60%. And shield radius is reduced by 38%. So if I just activate the shield, it's tiny. It's, and look how short that, wow, that's so short. Oh my god. So that says, okay, oh, wow. So this thing is now only useful to actually take incoming cannon hits. So as you see the cannon round fly at you, and before it hits you, you say, oh, boop, and nope. And that's all it is, like, in use. But it's return and that quicker reload. And Cheetah Engine. So the nuke feeder has been changed. So now 100-meter pass reduced the remaining time of kudos for modules, turrets, and drones by 20%. And the engine no longer affects the recharge time of guns. Already covered that. Now boosters and invisibility. So now having a invisibility module and having a booster. So decloaks you. Kinda sad, but oh well. Also, a little bit of interface change. This one is really convenient. For paints and decor parts, it says not for fusion on the parts that cannot be fused. So, for example, this one can be fused. This one can be fused. Fused. Okay, like a lot of this stuff can actually be fused, but like here, for example, harvest not to be fused, not for fusion, not for fusion, not for fusion. Of course, these are all relics, so relics should not, like, none of them are ready for fusion. But, like, some can be fused, some can not be fused, and that's a little bit of a nice addition. Like Nocturnal Hunter, not for fusion, because I think this one like is 370 at midnight. Well, for example, this one is only 21, so that's to prevent to get buying up a very cheap for example, I mean, like just like I said, like as here you guys can see, like you get like 10 of these for like 250 at most for coins. I would fuse it, and let's say you would get Forest. Forest is almost not sold, but you can sell it for 5.5 thousand. Similarly to like the harvest stuff, if you trade it, 37 coins. If you would be able to fuse that, and you would get like gold. It's bought up for 18,000. That should say enough. Also, there are a little bit of other changes. There are some like parts that have been tried to like wing have been slightly fixed. The model of the tsunami, apparently, like there were some glitches in it, and they have fixed it. Some animations, self-destruct indicator for Kevin Ice big box that was kind of too high. And some other like small changes. So those are just like bug uh, changes. And also now the use of Cerberus cockpit was initially not counted as use of melee weapons in seasons, but now it is. So like for this hard season here, you can actually cover this by just equipping a Cerberus. That's really nice. So those are pretty much all changes, and I'm gonna be building right ahead, guys. I'll be trying a lot of stuff here. So yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed as always, and I'll catch you guys all later. Bye, guys.